focused on delivering the best performance for the lowest price. The worst part about the Acer Swift 3 is that all of its best qualities may very well go unnoticed. The Swift 3 is the newest budget laptop from Taiwanese electronics maker Acer, a manufacturer whose 2017 exploits include a $9,000, £9,000 around AU $15,120 gaming laptop and the world's thinnest Ultrabook. With that history, anybody might have expected Acer to go all in with their next project, something that they didn't really set out to achieve, but came pretty close regardless. The Swift 7 might be Acer's flagship laptop, but the Swift 3 is a cheaper, more attainable version of that. The Swift 3, for all intents and purposes, is wholly aimed for shoppers looking for a bargain, making the best of a 14-inch Full HD 1080p display, a 0.71-inch thick frame and 3 pounds and 53 pence, 1.6 kilograms of heft. It would be hard to frame the Acer Swift 3's aesthetics as anything other than generic, at least as far as first impressions go. Take a look inside, however, and you'll find a set of burly components that feel right at home within the all-aluminum chassis of the Acer Swift 7. Price and availability. Like most laptops, the Acer Swift 3 comes in a number of different variations, each complete with their own unique specifications and pricing. In the US, the Acer Swift 3 starts at a modest $499, whereas a similar model can be found in the UK for £699. Stateside, the entry-level Ultrabook is comprised of Intel Core i3-7100U CPU, 4GB of RAM and a 128GB solid-state drive (SSD). Folks in the UK get a little bit of a different configuration, starting off with 8GB of DDR4 memory instead. On the opposite side of the pricing spectrum, the top-end model will set you back $849 in the US, but caps off at £749 in the UK. That's primarily because the most powerful Acer Swift 3 in North America takes advantage of an Intel Core i7 CPU, as opposed to the UK's Intel Core i5. The only other difference is the SSD storage, which amounts to 256GB in the UK instead of the 512GB available to Americans. The latter is the model we were sent for review. For $599, US readers can opt for the exact same model as the configuration we tested, that is, one that features an Intel Core i5-7200U, 8GB of SDRAM and a 256GB SSD. Keep in mind, there's no getting away from the 1080p screen. So if you're on the lookout for a 4K screen, you're going to have to find something else. Please note that at the time of writing, the Acer Swift 3 has yet to be released in Australia. Design and features. To be frank, the Acer Swift 3's looks are arguably its weakest point. Although it can be had in a sleeker gold or black finish in the US, or even a pink one in the UK, the unit we were sent for review appears to be the most drab of the bunch. Sure, it dons an angled hinge embroidered by the word Swift in a way that resembles the metallic badge worn by a Volvo, but the Acer Swift 3 fails to distinguish itself from the likes of the Samsung Notebook 7 Spin and the Asus ZenBook Flip, aside from lacking the 2-in-1 capabilities that make those two laptops more worth your while. Then again, what the Acer Swift 3 lacks in coffee shop appeal, it more than makes up for in comfort and practicality. The first thing we noticed when propping it up alongside a MacBook was just how roomy the trackpad is. Pair that with the just fine screen resolution, and, finally, you can control your cursor on a Windows laptop without it being a total nuisance. The keyboard, on the other hand, feels way better than Apple's 12-inch clamshell of yesteryear, and is thankfully complemented by nifty backlighting, of which there are 4 levels, including off. You'll notice too, that beneath the directional keys, is a pint-sized fingerprint reader, designed to be used in conjunction with Microsoft's Windows Hello Login feature. Although it didn't work flawlessly on the first go, it's still a worthwhile addition once you get used to how its slimline rectangular shape doesn't quite match up with that of your digits. One of the more commendable choices Acer made in the production of the Swift 3, though, is the inclusion of legacy ports, the most notable of which are two USB 3.0 connections and an SD card slot. Even so, laptop futurists need not be alarmed, as a single USB 3.1 Type-C port rests snugly on the left side of the machine.